All right, guys, welcome back. Davis Auto Sales in Richmond, Virginia. Got a really good one for you today. Gonna make it kind of quick though. It's 115 degrees in this building. No AC yet. Only thing we got is fans, but it's worth it to bring you guys this content because this is a good one. This is a K30, let's call it a K30/C20. No matter where you look at this truck, it's beautiful. So this truck, per the previous owner, started life as a C20 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive truck. We all know the 2-wheel drive survived a much better life. They weren't used for hunting, they weren't used off-road, they weren't typically used for work trucks. Some were, but most weren't. The C20 body got placed on a K30 chassis. Now, we can't decode the VIN number, we have not, I'm sure we can, but we can tell you it's a Dana 60 front, 14 bolt back, turbo 400, 205 with a 7.4, 454 big block. Dual tanks, both tanks work. The gauge does flutter, so I'm gonna give you the negatives real quick before we get into all the positives. The only things I've noticed is the gauge does flutter on the gas tanks, probably needs a sending unit, maybe some driving might help, and the speedometer cable is also kind of jumpy. Two typical things. Other than that, all the gauges work great. We're still gonna service it, we'll still put it on the rack, we're still gonna do our full due diligence going over this truck, but I can tell you somebody did a good job. We've already adjusted the doors, perfected the AC, a couple other things on it just to make sure that it was up to our standards, and I'm gonna be very happy when I can stop talking and get in here and give you a driving video because the AC is actually nice and cold on this truck on this hot day. Big block under the hood. Before I close the hood, we'll show you that. It's actually color matched to the truck, which is pretty cool. It's very similar to the GM blue engine color anyway. Yes, GM used blue. It wasn't always for Fords. Still has manifolds. All the air conditioning system, still has the submission stuff in place. If you see the vacuum canister over there, you know, it's not all probably hooked up like it's supposed to be anymore, but it's all still there. Makes it look really good under the hood. Power steering, power brakes, got the big radiator, even still has a jack under here. I doubt this is a factory fender well, but it does have the jack. The AC has been retrofitted to 134, even still has the hood felt up under the hood. So really nice under the hood. Wouldn't call it show quality, but it's nice. It's very era correct. Now, the things that you guys that are square body freaks are going to jump on right away, the grill, not a 1979 grill. And the trim and the paint design is not 1979 style. We like it. They kind of mixed old school with new school. It has the 80s model fender well trim, 80s model side molding, and of course the two-tone on this truck would have run around the racetrack trim, which we love, but they didn't do it that way. If it was mine to keep forever, I'd probably put 30 emblems on here. There's no reason you can't. But look underneath this truck. When this truck was redone and refinished, they didn't go out of their way to make it showy. They did go out of their way to make it clean. The frame is clean, the underbody's clean, the way the exhaust is run is clean, the spring pack setup is clean, the hardware that was replaced, they did a good job with that. Like I said, you can look under the back fender well, front fender well, doesn't really matter where you look, the truck looks good. And you'll be able to see that from the pictures as well on the website. Dual exhaust, again, not proper as far as the trim goes, but looks good. It looks like an 80s model if you look at it from the back, 70s model if you look at it from the front. Mickey Thompson tires, mud terrains, probably about a 4-inch lift, Pro Comp alloy wheels, two-tone in the roof, to go with the two-tone down bottom with the trim around the side, and a really nicely put together interior. Pretty much all blacked out in here. Got the chrome or stainless step pads, but if you look at the bottoms of the doors, dip down here and look at the bottoms of the doors, really clean. The truck was refinished very well as far as the way they painted the door jambs, did everything like that. The door handles, the pulls, everything's nice and tight, and it's the scripted style or engraved style, front and back. Really hard to find this stuff for crew cabs. You can find the Suburban stuff, but hard to find the pickup stuff. Still got the ashtrays. Most people, including my daughter videoing, don't even know what that is. 3+3, 3 passengers front, 3 passengers back. That's the way my dad explained it to me. If you guys know differently, tell me. As far as going around the truck for additional negatives, before we jump in and drive it, if you catch the light just right, you can see a couple little heavy spots in the paint, but you really have to catch the light right. The truck looks slick. The hood fitment is good. We all know these models have the full hood. Usually this is all humped up and out of whack. It's actually pretty good body lines. It could be perfected a little bit more, but not bad. The body lines themselves are nice and straight, and again, just good fitment. All the lights work. Been over all the lights. When it goes on the rack, we'll check the brakes. We'll check all the suspension items just to make sure, you know, it's not a broke spring, nothing weird. But this is an impressive truck. Let's jump in and go for a quick ride. There you go, ma'am. So trying my best not to have to cut and paste these videos for you guys because we got so many of them to get done. Pump the gas one time, fires up, sounds pretty good. The windows are tinted. It does have an actual headliner. It's got a newer style dome light right here. They did take the time to go ahead and put the four-wheel drive shifter in the floor. Stereo works. It is the retro style, so it's Bluetooth. And the AC is nice and cold, which is beautiful today because a few of them we have been in have been a little warm, right, Trista? So, very enjoyable. We did put fuel in both tanks. Again, the gauges do work. They're just quirky. The gauge here to switch is fine, the switcher. It does appear that it is switching between the tanks. Windshield's clean, has the built-in antenna. A lot of people don't realize that. For you guys that are new, this right here is the antenna actually for the radio because you don't have one in the fender on these trucks. I'd have to assume the heat's working. I'm not going to try that today. The dash is in awesome shape. Again, matches with the door panel, matches with the trim. I did pull it into four-wheel drive. It appears that it works like it's supposed to. And again, it's nice they went in and put that in the floor. To do the conversion, one other little point. This does not fit when we did our Suburban conversion. The two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive have a different hump here. The hump is a little taller for a four-wheel drive. So not to cut the floor and to take anything away from this truck, what they did on this one was they did a 1-inch, it looks like a billet spacer for a body lift. So it will have a small body lift, about 1 inch roughly, but that allowed them to clear the Turbo 400 without cutting the floorboard out. This truck does not have crossover or the track bar system that Davis Off-Road designs, but it really doesn't need it at this height. It drives pretty well. Actually pretty straight. It's a little bit of traffic here, so I don't want to go crazy, take my hand off the wheel, but pretty straight. All the trim around here is good. A lot of times people leave this stuff off. They leave the headliner out. They leave the trim off here. They leave the visors out. Very well completed on the interior. Very impressed with that. Again, nice to have stereo, nice to have working AC. Error correct floor mats for the newer Chevrolets, not really for this, but the black looks good in the floor here. Temperatures are good. It's staying one tick, maybe a tick and a half up from half. So staying really cool running, and we've had it running for a little while before doing this video. So for a big block, that's something to be said, but it's not crazy. It's not highly modified. Oil pressure is good. It's showing about 45 PSI running right now. And again, as we drive, the speedometer is not as jumpy, but when you slow down, it starts to jump. You might can see that in the video. Voltage is reading about 14.5, so that's good. All in all, guys, this is a great truck. We'd be happy to modify it further. Getting ready to pull up at the shop now to check on another project, but Brian and Daniel, obviously, like with any of these trucks, guys, will carry it to whatever level you want. Power steps would be cool. If you want to go all in and go bigger with the height, great, no problem. Whatever level you want to take it to is fine, but if you want to take this one home the way it is, so be it. You can't really ask for a much nicer truck for this price point. Most of these crew cabs we all know are above 100 grand. For this one to be as nicely put together as it is at the price it's going to be, I've got to total up some things we finished today to give you an exact price, but it will be on the website shortly, so make sure you're on davisautosales.com or Davis 4x4. Once priced, I'll also drop it in the comments because obviously that's a major question. So here we are, guys. Nice truck, crew cab, back seat, everything is supposed to be. You got the lap belts, shoulder belts, which I should be wearing. There it is. That's your 2-cent tour on this one. Check it out on the web. Thanks for watching.